Bear cub was covered in sticky hot tar on the road. What this baby did was shocking. Let us know where you're watching from. If you love my content, consider supporting it with a super thanks. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. It'll help us to remain in touch with amazing people like you. The summer heat made everything feel heavy that afternoon. The black road seemed to melt under the sun. The fresh tar smell mixed with pine trees from the forest nearby. A small cottage sat close to the trees. Through the open windows, you could hear a baby making soft sounds inside. Dakota Miller wiped sweat from her forehead. She looked at her baby through the window. Little Oliver played with his wooden blocks on the floor. He was only 18 months old. His chubby fingers grabbed the blocks one by one. Dakota smiled. She turned back to her garden. The tomatoes needed water. The heat dried everything so fast these days. The road workers finished their job yesterday. They left patches of fresh tar everywhere. The black stuff stayed soft in this heat. It stuck to everything. Dakota noticed tire marks where cars drove through it. She shook her head. They should have put up more warning signs. A rustling sound came from the forest. Dakota didn't pay attention. Animals moved through those trees all the time. Deer, rabbits, sometimes even bears. But the bears usually stayed deeper in the woods. They rarely came this close to the houses. Inside the cottage, Oliver dropped his block. It rolled across the floor. He crawled after it. His tiny hand slapped against the wooden boards. The block stopped near the window. Oliver pulled himself up. He looked outside. His big brown eyes got wider. Something moved on the road, something brown and furry. It walked slowly, too slowly. Oliver pressed his nose against the glass. The furry thing stopped moving. It made a sound, a sad sound. Oliver's face changed. His happy smile disappeared. He made a whimpering noise. Dakota heard her baby's distress. She put down her watering can. "What's wrong, sweetie?" She walked toward the cottage. But then she heard another sound. Not from Oliver, from outside, from the road. It was a cry, not human, animal, young animal. Dakota's steps got faster. She reached the porch. She looked at the road. Her hand flew to her mouth. A bear cub struggled in the middle of the tar patch. The sticky black stuff covered its paws. It tried to move. Each step pulled at its fur. The tar clung to everything. The cub's brown fur turned black where the tar touched it. It cried again. The sound broke Dakota's heart. "Oh no," Dakota whispered. She looked around. No mother bear in sight. That was strange. Cubs never wandered alone. Where was the mother? Dakota's mind raced. She needed to help. But how? You can't just grab a wild bear cub. The mother could be nearby. Mother bears protected their babies fiercely. Oliver saw everything from his window. He pressed both hands against the glass now. His breathing fogged the window. Tears rolled down his cheeks. He didn't understand what tar was. He didn't know about wild animals. He only knew the furry thing was hurt. It needed help. The cub tried harder to escape, but the more it struggled, the worse it got. The tar spread up its legs. It reached the cub's belly. The hot sun made the tar even stickier. The cub's cries got louder, more desperate. Dakota grabbed her phone. She needed to call someone. Animal control? The fire department? Her hand shook. Before she could dial, she heard a car approaching. Maybe they would help. The car slowed down. A man looked out the window. He saw the cub. He shook his head. The car drove around the tar patch and continued down the road. Dakota couldn't believe it. How could someone just drive away? Oliver watched the car leave too. His little fists banged on the window. He made angry baby sounds. Why didn't the car stop? Why didn't anyone help the furry thing? More cars came, some slowed down. People took pictures with their phones. They pointed at the cub. They talked to each other, but nobody got out. Nobody helped. The cub's struggles got weaker, its cries softer. Dakota's neighbor, Marcus Thompson, walked by with his dog. The dog barked at the cub. Marcus pulled the leash. "Come on, boy, nothing we can do." He looked at Dakota. Poor thing. Nature is cruel sometimes. He kept walking. Dakota wanted to scream. This wasn't nature. This was tar, human tar, on a human road. The cub didn't choose to step in it, and everyone just watched. Inside, Oliver couldn't stand it anymore. He crawled away from the window. He headed for the door. His tiny hands reached up for the doorknob. Too high, he couldn't reach it. He sat on the floor and cried. Dakota heard Oliver's wails. She looked between her baby and the cub. Both crying. Both needing something. The cub needed rescue. Oliver needed comfort. But Dakota felt frozen. What if the mother bear showed up? What if she tried to help and made things worse? The cub's movement slowed more. Its head drooped. The tar held it like a trap. The hot sun beat down. How long could a baby bear survive like this? Dakota's mind spun with questions. No answers came. Oliver stopped crying. He got quiet, very quiet. Dakota knew that silence. It meant Oliver was thinking, planning. For a baby, he solved problems in surprising ways. He learned to stack blocks to reach things. He figured out how to open cabinets. What was he thinking now? The cottage door had a cat flap at the bottom. Oliver's previous owners installed it. Dakota kept meaning to seal it up. She didn't have a cat, but she never got around to it. Now, Oliver crawled toward it. He pushed his head through, then his shoulders. Dakota turned just in time to see Oliver's feet disappear through the cat flap. Oliver. No exclamation mark. She ran to the door, her hands fumbled with the knob. How did he fit through there? How did he even know to try? By the time Dakota got outside, Oliver was already crawling across the porch. His target was clear. The bear cub, the tar. Dakota's heart pounded. Oliver, stop! But Oliver didn't stop. He crawled down the porch steps. One by one, his diapered bottom bumped on each step. The cub lifted its head. It saw the baby coming. Something strange happened. The cub stopped crying. It watched Oliver with curious eyes. Two babies, different species. Same problem. They needed help. Oliver reached the edge of the road. The tar patch was just feet away. The smell hit his nose. He wrinkled his face, but he kept going. His hands touched the hot asphalt. It hurt. He pulled back, then tried again. Dakota ran after him, but she stopped at the road's edge. Movement in the forest caught her eye. Rustling. Heavy rustling. Her blood went cold. The mother bear, she was coming. Oliver didn't see the danger. He only saw the cub. He crawled closer. His hand almost touched the tar. The cub watched him. Their eyes met, baby to baby. A connection formed. Then the forest exploded with motion. A massive brown shape burst through the trees. The mother bear, she roared. The sound shook the air. Every person watching stepped back, except Oliver. He just looked at the big bear and smiled. The mother bear charged forward. Her massive paws hit the ground hard. Dust flew up with each step. Her eyes locked on her cub. Then she saw Oliver, the tiny human baby crawling toward her trapped child. She slowed down. Confusion filled her dark eyes. Dakota screamed Oliver's name. Her legs felt like jelly. She wanted to run, grab her baby, save him. But fear paralyzed her. The mother bear stood between her and Oliver now. One wrong move could mean disaster. People gathered at safe distances. Some filmed with their phones. Others called 911. Car doors slammed as more people stopped to watch. Everyone held their breath. A baby and a bear, face to face. Nobody had seen anything like this. Oliver kept crawling. The hot road burned his palms. He didn't care. Tears ran down his cheeks, not from pain, from seeing the cub suffer. He reached the edge of the tar patch. The black goo stretched before him. The cub lay in the middle, so close, so far. The mother bear took another step. Her huge form cast a shadow over Oliver. She could crush him with one paw. Everyone knew it, everyone except Oliver. He looked up at her. His brown eyes met hers. No fear, just determination. Something shifted in the mother bear's stance. She sniffed the air. She smelled the tar, the heat, her cub's distress, and something else. Oliver's baby scent, milk and innocence. Not threat, not danger, just another baby. Marcus Thompson had come back. He stood beside his fence. His dog whined and pulled the leash. "Someone do something," he shouted. But nobody moved. What could anyone do? Get between a mother bear and her cub? That was suicide. Oliver touched the tar with one finger. It stuck immediately. He pulled back. The black stuff stretched like taffy. He tried to wipe it off on the road. It wouldn't come off. He looked at the cub again. The cub's eyes were half closed now, weaker, fading. Dakota found her voice. "Please," she said to the bear. Strange to talk to an animal, but what else could she do? "He just wants to help. Please don't hurt him." Her voice cracked. Tears streamed down her face. The mother bear's ears twitched. She looked at Dakota, then at Oliver, then at her cub. She made a sound, not a roar, something softer, almost like a whimper. She understood. Somehow, she understood. Oliver used both hands now. He grabbed handfuls of dirt from the road's edge. He threw it on the tar. The dirt stuck to the black goo, made it less sticky. Where did he learn that? How did he know? Babies weren't supposed to solve problems like this. The cub opened its eyes wider. It watched Oliver work. It tried to move again. The tar held tight. But where Oliver threw dirt, the grip loosened a little. The cub felt it. Hope flickered in its eyes. The mother bear sat down, just sat, right there on the road. Her massive bulk settled onto the asphalt. She watched Oliver work, watched her cub struggle. Her eyes moved between them. Protective, worried, but not aggressive. More dirt, more throwing. Oliver's little arms got tired. He stopped to rest, looked at the cub. The cub looked back. They shared something. Understanding, trust, connection. Angela Peterson drove up in her pickup truck. She was the local veterinarian. Someone had called her. She saw the scene. Her mouth dropped open. A baby, a bear cub, and a mother bear. All within feet of each other. She grabbed her phone, started recording. This needed to be documented. Oliver crawled into the tar. His knees sank into the softened edge where he'd thrown dirt. The black stuff grabbed his pajamas, his legs. He kept going. Dakota took a step forward. The mother bear's head snapped toward her. Dakota froze. "It's okay," Oliver said. His first clear words, not to his mother, to the bear. 18 months old, barely talking. But he spoke to the bear. The mother bear's ears perked up. She tilted her massive head. The cub cried out again, weaker than before. Time was running out. The sun beat down. The tar got hotter, stickier in the center where the dirt hadn't reached. Oliver needed help. He looked around, all these adults, all watching, none helping. He did something unexpected. He started crying, not quiet tears, loud, wailing sobs. The kind that usually brought adults running. The kind that said emergency in baby language. His cries mixed with the cubs. 2 babies in distress. It worked. Angela Peterson stepped out of her truck. She moved slowly, carefully, her eyes on the mother bear. "I'm a vet," she announced. "I can help." She had towels in her truck, a solvent, tools, things that might work on Tar. The mother bear watched Angela approach. She didn't move, didn't growl, just watched. Angela reached her truck bed, pulled out supplies. Her hands shook. One wrong move, one perceived threat, the mother could attack. Oliver stopped crying. He watched Angela. He understood. Help was coming. He reached for the cub. His tiny fingers touched its tar-covered paw. The cub didn't pull away. Their connection held. Dakota found courage. Her baby was in danger. But he was also doing something incredible. She stepped forward. One step, two. The mother bear watched but didn't react. Dakota reached the tar's edge, knelt beside Oliver. "Brave boy," she whispered. She didn't try to pull him back. Not yet. She understood now. This moment. This connection. It was bigger than fear, bigger than danger. It was pure compassion. From a baby who didn't know he should be afraid. Angela approached with her supplies. She moved like she was walking through a minefield. Every step calculated. The mother bear's eyes tracked her movement, but she remained sitting, waiting. Trusting? Maybe. "We need to work fast," Angela said. Her voice stayed calm, professional, but sweat dripped down her forehead. "The tar is too hot. The cub is getting weaker." She laid out her towels, opened a bottle of mineral oil. It could break down tar, sometimes. Oliver watched everything. He kept his hand on the cub's paw. The contact seemed important, like he was telling the cub to hold on, to wait. Help was here. The cub's breathing was shallow, but its eyes stayed on Oliver. Angela poured oil around the cub. The tar began to soften. Just a little. She worked the edges first, where the tar was thinnest, where Oliver had thrown dirt. Smart baby. He'd figured out what others hadn't, make the tar less sticky first. The mother bear stood up. Everyone tensed. She moved closer. Her massive form loomed over the group. Dakota pulled Oliver back slightly, but he resisted. He kept his hand on the cub. The connection couldn't break, not now. The mother bear did something unexpected. She lay down, right beside her cub. Her huge body stretched out on the road, her head near the cub's. She made soft sounds, encouraging sounds, mother sounds that crossed species barriers. Angela worked faster, oil, towels, gentle pulling. The tar released its grip slowly, reluctantly. One paw came free. The cub cried out, not pain, relief. It moved the freed paw, tested it, it worked. Oliver clapped his hands. Baby celebration, joy for his friend's progress. The cub looked at him. If bears could smile, this one did. Their bond grew stronger. Two babies, different worlds, same heart. More people had stopped now. A crowd formed. But nobody came close. They watched from safe distances. Phones recorded. This would be on the internet within hours. The baby who saved a bear. But that was for later. Now, there was only this moment. The second paw came free. Then a third. The cub could move more now. It struggled against the remaining tar. Wanted out. Wanted its mother. Angela kept working. Her fear faded into focus. She'd helped plenty of animals, just never with their mother watching. Dakota helped now, held towels, passed supplies, mother and vet working together. Oliver supervised. His presence seemed to calm everyone, even the mother bear, especially the mother bear. She watched her cub get free, watched the humans help. Her eyes showed something like gratitude. The last of the tar let go. The cub stumbled forward, weak but free. Its fur was matted, stained black. But it could move. It took shaky steps toward its mother, then stopped, turned back to Oliver. What happened next stayed with everyone who saw it. The cub walked back to Oliver, touched its nose to his hand. A thank you, a goodbye, a promise that kindness was remembered, even by bears. Oliver giggled. Pure baby joy. He patted the cub's head. Gentle. Software. The way he patted his stuffed animals at home. The cub accepted it, then walked to its mother. The reunion was beautiful. Mother bear nuzzled her baby, checked every inch, made sure it was really free. They walked toward the forest together. The mother bear stopped at the tree line, turned back. Her eyes found Oliver, then Dakota, then Angela. A long look, acknowledgement, appreciation. Then they disappeared into the trees. The crowd erupted, cheers, applause, tears. They'd witnessed something extraordinary. A baby's compassion had saved a bear cub, had brought humans and bears together, had shown that kindness knew no boundaries. Dakota scooped Oliver into her arms, held him tight. Her brave, impossible, wonderful baby. He was covered in tar, dirt, sweat, but he smiled, pointed at the forest where the bears had gone. "Bye-bye," he said, his second clear word of the day. Angela packed up her supplies. Her hands still shook. She couldn't finish. There were no words. She'd been a vet for 15 years, never seen anything like this, never expected to. Marcus Thompson approached, the man who'd walked away earlier. His face was red. "I'm sorry," he said. "I should have helped. I was scared. But your baby—" He showed us all what courage looks like. Others nodded, ashamed of their earlier inaction. News crews arrived. Someone had called them. They wanted interviews, pictures, the story. Dakota shielded Oliver from the cameras. He was tired now, the adrenaline fading. He put his thumb in his mouth, closed his eyes, safe in his mother's arms. The tar on the road remained, black scar on the asphalt. But it looked different now. Not just a trap, a place where something amazing happened, where a baby chose compassion over fear, where bears and humans connected. As Dakota carried Oliver home, she thought about what she'd witnessed. Her baby had done what adults couldn't or wouldn't. He'd seen suffering and acted. No hesitation, no fear, just love. The cottage felt different when they entered. Same rooms, same furniture. But changed somehow. Oliver had changed them all. Shown them something they'd forgotten. That sometimes the smallest among us are the bravest. She gave Oliver a bath. The tar came off slowly. His skin was red underneath. Maybe a little burned, but he didn't cry. He played with his bath toys, splashed water, normal baby things, as if he hadn't just done something extraordinary. That night, as Dakota tucked Oliver into his crib, she heard something outside, rustling in the forest. She went to the window. There, at the edge of the trees, two shapes. The mother bear and her cub. Watching the cottage, standing guard, saying thank you. She'd never know. Oliver slept peacefully, his stuffed bear tucked under one arm. The real bears stayed until dawn, then vanished into the forest. But the connection remained, the bridge built by a baby's compassion. It would last forever. The next morning brought surprises. The video had gone viral. Millions of views. Comments from around the world. People amazed by Oliver's bravery. Scientists puzzled by the bear's behavior. Everyone touched by the pure love of a child. Reporters knocked on the door. Cameras waited outside. The world wanted to meet the baby who saved a bear. Dakota kept them away. Oliver was too young. He didn't need fame. He needed his normal life, his blocks, his toys, his innocence. But changes came anyway. The city fixed the road, put up barriers around tar patches, warning signs everywhere. They called it Oliver's Law, protecting wildlife from human hazards. It started there. That one road, that one brave baby. Angela Peterson visited often, brought updates from wildlife experts. The cub was fine, growing strong. The mother bear had been spotted. They stayed near. Unusual for bears. They usually moved on, but this pair remained close to the cottage. Oliver grew, learned more words, but he remembered the bears. Drew pictures with crayons, brown scribbles that might be bears, or might be potatoes. Hard to tell with toddler art, but Dakota knew. He remembered his friend. Sometimes, on quiet evenings, Dakota saw them. The bears, always at a distance, always watching, like guardians, like friends. The cub grew bigger, healthier. The tar incident left no lasting damage. Except to everyone's heart, that damage was permanent, in the best way. The cottage by the forest became a landmark. People drove by, took pictures, told the story, the baby and the bear, the mother who trusted, the community that learned. It became legend. But for Dakota and Oliver, it was just Tuesday, the day everything changed. Oliver started walking. Real walking, not crawling. His first destination? The window. Where he'd first seen the cub. He stood there often, watching, waiting for his friends to return, and sometimes they did. Shadow shapes in the trees, watching back. The bond never broke, couldn't break. It was forged in tar and tears, in bravery and trust, in the pure heart of a baby who saw suffering and acted, who taught adults that love was stronger than fear. Always stronger. Years would pass. Oliver would grow, forget maybe, or maybe not. But the forest remembered, the bears remembered, and everyone who saw it remembered. The day a baby changed everything. With sticky hands and a brave heart. The morning felt different somehow. 3 years had passed since the tar incident. Oliver was 4 now. Old enough to play in the yard alone. Old enough to remember some things. Forget others. But something stirred in the forest that day. Something that would bring the past crashing into the present. Dakota worked in her garden again. The tomatoes grew well this year. She heard Oliver playing by the fence. He talked to himself, made up stories, normal kid stuff. She smiled. Her brave baby had grown into a curious boy. "Mommy, look!" Oliver's voice carried across the yard. Dakota turned. Oliver pointed at the forest edge. Nothing there, just trees, shadows, the usual. But Oliver kept pointing, insisting. "What is it, honey?" Dakota walked over, wiped her dirt-covered hands on her jeans. Oliver grabbed her hand, pulled her closer to the fence. His eyes wide with excitement. "My friend," he whispered, like sharing a secret. Dakota looked harder. The shadows shifted, movement between the trees. Her heart skipped. Could it be? A shape emerged, brown fur, lumbering walk, a bear, but not the mother. This one was smaller, younger. It stopped at the forest edge, looked directly at Oliver. Dakota's breath caught. The cub, not a cub anymore, a young bear. But those eyes, she knew those eyes. Oliver pressed against the fence. "Hi," he said, simple, like greeting an old friend. The bear sat down, just beyond the property line, watching, waiting. Like it had done this before, like it knew exactly where to stop. "Oliver, stay back," Dakota said, but her voice lacked conviction. This felt different, not dangerous, just strange. The bear made no aggressive moves. It just sat, patient, calm. Then something extraordinary happened. The bear lifted one paw, showed it to Oliver. The fur had grown back funny where the tar had been, patches of different color, scars from that day. Oliver gasped. "Mommy, look, he remembers." Marcus Thompson walked by with his dog. Same route as always. He stopped dead, saw the bear, saw Oliver. His face went pale. "Dakota, get Oliver inside." But Dakota didn't move. Something held her there, a feeling, an understanding. "It's okay, Marcus," she said. Her voice surprised her, calm, sure. "It's the cub, from that day." Marcus looked closer. Recognition dawned. His dog, usually barking at wildlife, sat quietly. Even animals knew this was different. Oliver did something unexpected. He ran inside. Dakota almost called after him, but he came back quickly, carrying something, his stuffed bear, the one he'd slept with since he was a baby. He held it up, showed it to the real bear. "I kept him," Oliver said, "to remember you." The bear tilted its head, watching the toy, making soft sounds, not threatening, almost conversational, like it understood. Maybe it did. Angela Peterson's truck pulled up. She still visited sometimes, checking on Oliver, sharing wildlife updates. She saw the scene. Her mouth opened, then closed. She got out slowly. "Is that?" "Yes," Dakota said. "It came back." Angela grabbed her phone. Not to call for help, to document. This was unprecedented. Bears didn't do this, didn't return to human connections, didn't remember like this. The bear stood. Everyone tensed, but it just walked parallel to the fence. Slow, deliberate, leading them somewhere. Oliver followed on his side of the fence. Dakota stayed close, hand on his shoulder, ready to pull him back if needed. They reached the back corner of the property. The bear stopped, pawed at something on the ground. Leaves scattered, revealing something underneath. Bones, small bones, and fur. Dakota's stomach turned. What was this? Angela crouched for a better look. Her face changed. "These are old," she said. "Months old, maybe ... She looked up at the bear. Understanding dawned. "I think it's showing us something important." The bear made more sounds. Urgent now, pawing at the bones again. Oliver watched intently. No fear, just curiosity. "What's wrong?" he asked the bear. Director, like expecting an answer. Movement in the forest again, heavier this time. The mother bear emerged. Older now, grayer around the muzzle, but still massive, still powerful. She walked with a limp. Fresh wound on her shoulder, blood matted in her fur. "She's hurt," Angela breathed. "Something's happened." The mother bear reached her offspring, leaned against it. Weak, tired. The younger bear supported her weight, helped her sit. Family taking care of family. Oliver's face crumpled. "Help her!" He looked at Angela, at his mother, at any adult who could fix this. The same expression from 3 years ago. The same need to help, the same refusal to accept suffering. Angela ran to her truck, grabbed her medical kit, but stopped at the fence. How could she help a wild bear? The mother could attack, protect herself, her offspring. This was different from saving a trapped cub. The younger bear did something remarkable. It walked to the fence, stood on hind legs, placed both paws on the wooden posts, looked Angela in the eyes. The message was clear. "Trust us. Help her. We remember." "This is insane," Angela muttered. But she was already looking for the gate. Dakota found it first. Old rusty hinges, never used. She pushed it open. The sound made everyone freeze. The moment of decision. Oliver walked through first, before anyone could stop him. 4 years old, marching toward 2 bears, one injured, both dangerous. But he showed no fear, the same bravery, the same pure heart. "Oliver, no!" Dakota lunged for him. But the younger bear moved, placed itself between Oliver and its injured mother. Not threatening, protecting, creating safe space, managing the situation. Angela followed, medical kit in hand, hands shaking slightly. She'd worked with wild animals before, but never like this. Never invited by the animals themselves. The younger bear stepped aside. Let her approach. The mother bear's wound was bad. Deep gash. Maybe from another bear, maybe something else. It needed cleaning, antibiotics. Stitches, probably. Angela worked carefully. The mother bear didn't move, just watched. Trusting. Oliver stood beside the younger bear. His hand found its scarred paw. The same connection from years ago. Stronger now. The bear allowed it. Seemed to welcome it. Two friends reunited by crisis. Dakota watched in amazement. Her son, these bears, this impossible situation. The neighbors gathered at the fence, phones out, recording again. Another miracle at the cottage by the forest. "The wound's infected," Angela announced. "She needs more help than I can give here." She looked around, calculating, deciding. "We need to get her to my clinic." Everyone stared. Take a wild bear to a vet clinic? Impossible. Dangerous. Probably illegal. But the younger bear seemed to understand. It nudged its mother, made encouraging sounds. The mother tried to stand, wobbled, sat back down. "I have a trailer," Marcus said suddenly. Everyone turned. He shifted uncomfortably. "For my boat, but it could work if she'd get in." He was offering to help. The man who walked away before, now stepping forward. They worked together, backed the trailer to the gate, spread blankets, made it inviting. The younger bear investigated first, sniffed everything, tested the stability, then returned to its mother, more nudging, more sounds. The mother bear struggled to her feet, step by painful step. She reached the trailer, hesitated. Wild animals didn't enter human things. It went against every instinct. But her offspring encouraged her, and she trusted. She climbed in, slow, careful, settled on the blankets. The younger bear jumped in beside her, protective, comforting. Oliver tried to follow. Dakota caught him this time. "No, baby, too dangerous." "But they need me," Oliver protested. His logic simple. Director. They were hurt. He helped hurt things. That's what he did. What he'd always done. From that first day with the tar. Angela made a decision. "He can ride with me in the truck, following close." She looked at Dakota. "Somehow, I think we need him. They trust him. That might matter at the clinic." The convoy moved slowly. Marcus's truck pulling the bears. Angela's vet truck behind. Oliver in his car seat, watching the trailer through the windshield, making sure his friends were okay. People stared as they passed. Bears in a trailer, following traffic laws, stopping at red lights. It looked impossible, felt impossible. But there they were, making the impossible real. The clinic staff panicked when they arrived. Bears in the parking lot. Angela calmed them. Explained. Sort of. How do you explain this? Bears who asked for help. Who trusted humans. Who remembered kindness. They sedated the mother bear, gently, carefully. The younger bear watched everything. Allowed the needle. Trusted the process. Oliver held its paw through the bars. Connection maintained, courage shared. The surgery took hours, cleaning the wound, stitching torn muscle, fighting infection. Angela worked with total focus. This wasn't just any patient. This was Oliver's bear, the mother who trusted them. She had to save her. Oliver waited in the lobby, the younger bear visible through the window. They watched each other, patient, calm, like they'd done this before, like they understood waiting, understood hope. Madison Foster arrived, local reporter. She'd covered the original story, now this. Her eyes were wide. "Is it true, the same bears?" Dakota nodded, too tired to explain much, too overwhelmed by the strangeness. "Can I interview Oliver?" Madison asked. Dakota hesitated. Oliver was so young, but he'd been part of every moment, his story to tell. She nodded, let Madison kneel beside him. "Why did you help the baby bear back then?" Madison asked gently. Oliver thought, his face serious. He was stuck. Being stuck is scary. I get stuck sometimes, under tables, behind couches. Someone always helps me, so I helped him. Simple logic, pure truth. Madison's eyes misted. And now? Why help again? Oliver shrugged. They're my friends. You help friends. That's what friends do. He returned to watching the window. Interview over. More important things happening. Angela emerged hours later, exhausted but smiling. She'll make it. The infection was bad, but we caught it in time. Relief flooded the room. Oliver jumped up. Can I see her? They entered the recovery room. The mother bear lay still, breathing steady, monitors beeping. The younger bear had stayed the whole time. Guardian, protector. It looked up when they entered. Made a soft sound, question and greeting combined. Oliver approached slowly. The younger bear made space. Let him close. Oliver touched the mother's good shoulder. Gentle, careful. Get better, he whispered. We'll wait for you. The younger bear leaned against Oliver, just for a moment. Brief contact, thank you, it seemed to say. Oliver leaned back. Understanding passed between them. No words needed, just trust, just friendship. They stayed until the mother bear woke, groggy but alert. She saw Oliver first, recognition in her eyes. The brave baby, now a brave boy, still helping, still caring. She made a sound, software grateful. The news spread fast. The bears who came for help, the boy who bridged species, the town that rallied. It made national headlines, international even. But in the clinic it was just friends, taking care of each other. Recovery took weeks. The bears stayed at the clinic. Unprecedented. Against all protocols. But nobody argued. These weren't normal circumstances. These were Oliver's bears. That changed everything. Oliver visited daily, after preschool, before dinner. He read picture books to them, showed them his drawings, talked about his day. The bears listened, or seemed to. Who could say what they understood? But they always perked up when he arrived. The younger bear learned routines, medication times, bandage changes. It helped somehow, nudging its mother, encouraging cooperation. Angela had never seen anything like it. Animal intelligence at work. Or something more, something deeper. Citizens donated money. For the medical bills. For special enclosures. For whatever these remarkable bears needed. The story touched everyone, reminded them that connection crossed all boundaries. That kindness created bonds stronger than fear. One morning, something changed. The mother bear stood easier, walked without pain. The wound healed, clean, strong. She was ready to return to the forest, to their life. But something held them back. They waited by the door, both bears, looking out, but not leaving. Angela opened it. Fresh air rushed in, forest smells, home calling. But they didn't move. They turned, looked around, searching. They're waiting for Oliver, Dakota realized. They won't leave without saying goodbye. She called the preschool, explained, sort of. How do you explain that bears are waiting to say goodbye to your 4-year-old? Oliver arrived breathless, running from the car. He understood immediately, saw their position, their patient waiting. His face fell. You're leaving. The younger bear approached, touched its nose to Oliver's hand. Gentle, affectionate, yes, time to go. The goodbye was beautiful, no sadness, just understanding. The mother bear walked over, lowered her massive head. Let Oliver pat her. Trust complete. Bond acknowledged. Then they walked out. Slow, dignified, wild again. But they stopped at the forest edge, turned back. One last look. Oliver waved, small hand in the air. The bears stood for a moment, then disappeared, back to their world, but somehow still connected to Oliver's. The clinic felt empty after. Angela found Oliver's drawings everywhere. Stick figures and bear shapes, stories told in crayon. She kept them all, reminders of the impossible, of the day bears asked for help. Oliver returned to his life. Preschool, playtime, normal kid things. But he watched the forest more, waited, hoped. His friends were out there, somewhere, living their bear lives, healing, growing, remembering. Sometimes he saw shadows, movement in the trees, maybe them, maybe not. But the connection remained. Strong as ever, the boy who helped bears, the bears who trusted a boy. Their story lived on. The cottage by the forest became more than home. It became a symbol, a place where miracles happened, where species met as equals, where a baby's compassion changed everything, and could change everything again. Dakota watched her son grow, saw the empathy in every action, the bravery in small moments. He helped injured birds, fed stray cats, showed kindness to everyone. The boy who learned love from bears, who taught bears about trust. Time moved forward, seasons changed. The tar patch was long gone, replaced by a small garden, Oliver's idea, flowers where trauma had been, beauty where pain existed. He watered them daily, remembered without dwelling. One winter morning brought surprise. Tracks in fresh snow, leading to the cottage, circling it, no threat, just presence, just checking. The bears still remembered, still watched over the boy who'd saved them. Oliver saw the tracks, smiled big, ran outside, added his footprints beside theirs. Different sizes, different species, but walking the same path, following the same heart, connected forever. He built a snowman that day, right where the tracks met, a guardian for the cottage, a bridge between worlds. When it melted weeks later, Oliver wasn't sad. "It'll snow again," he said. "They'll come back. Friends always do." And he was right. They did come back, in spring, in summer, in fall, never close, but always there, shadows in the forest, protectors in the darkness, friends across the divide. The local school invited Oliver to speak, tell his story, inspire others. 5 years old now, big enough for kindergarten, big enough to share wisdom. He agreed, eager to help, to teach, to spread the message. He stood before the assembly. Small boy, big heart, bigger story. "Bears aren't scary," he began. "They're just like us. They have families. They feel pain. They need help sometimes. And if we're brave enough to help, magical things happen." The children listened, wide-eyed, hearts open, learning from Oliver what adults had learned from him. That love was stronger than fear, that kindness built bridges, that even the smallest person could change the world. His teacher asked questions. "Were you scared when the mother bear charged?" Oliver thought. Shook his head. Number she was scared, for her baby. Like my mom gets scared for me, I understood. So, I wasn't afraid. Wisdom from a child. Truth from innocence. The assembly ended with applause, with tears from teachers, with children chattering about helping animals, about being brave, about being like Oliver. The story spread further. Books were written, documentaries filmed, scientists studied the behavior. Everyone wanted to understand. How did this happen? Why did it work? What did it mean? But Oliver knew the answer. Simple, clear. Love, that's all. Love for another being in pain. Love that transcended species. Love that created miracles. He'd shown it. The bears had felt it. Everything else followed naturally. Seasons turned to years. Oliver grew taller, started school properly, made friends, played sports, normal kid life, but always with that extra something, that connection to the wild, that understanding of the world beyond human borders. The bears, aged 2, had cubs of their own, new generations. But the bond passed down. Young bears who'd never met Oliver still paused at the cottage, still watched from the trees, still remembered through inherited memory, through stories told in bear language, about the boy who helped, who showed them humans could be trusted. Sometimes. One special morning brought full circle. Oliver, now 8, heard familiar cries, young, frightened sounds. He ran outside. There, at the road's edge, another cub. Different generation, but caught in something. Tangled in human garbage, plastic wrapped around its paw, cutting deep. The cub struggled, cried, history repeating. But this time was different. Oliver wasn't alone. Other children were there, his friends. Kids who'd heard his story, who'd learned his lessons. They didn't run, didn't panic, they formed a group. Careful, but determined. One called Angela. Now she kept special hours. On call for Oliver's emergencies. She arrived quickly, smiled at the scene. Children helping wildlife. Oliver's legacy spreading. The next generation learning compassion. They freed the cub together. Cut the plastic carefully. Treated the wound. Gentle hands. Calm voices. The cub's mother watched from the forest. But she didn't charge, didn't roar. She recognized something, maybe Oliver, maybe just the energy, the same kindness her mother had known. The freed cub scampered back to its mother. They disappeared quickly. But the children celebrated, high fives all around, they'd done it. Helped, made a difference. Oliver beamed with pride, not for himself, for them, for the compassion spreading, for the fear dissolving. That night, as Dakota tucked Oliver into bed, she marveled again. Her brave boy, still changing the world. One rescued animal at a time, one taught child at a time, one broken barrier at a time. "Mommy," Oliver said drowsily, "do you think they tell stories about us? The bears? To their cubs?" Dakota smoothed his hair. "I'm sure they do, honey, just like we tell stories about them." Oliver smiled, closed his eyes. "Good, stories help us remember. Remember to be kind, to be brave, to help." His breathing deepened, sleep taking over. But his words lingered. Truth from the mouths of babes. Outside, shadows moved in the forest. Multiple shapes now. Bears of different ages. Different stories, but connected by one thread. The boy in the cottage. The bridge between worlds. The reminder that miracles happened. When hearts stayed open. When fear stepped aside. When love led the way. The moon rose full, lit the forest, lit the cottage, lit the space between, where two worlds met, where understanding lived, where a baby's compassion had rewritten the rules. Forever. Dakota stood at Oliver's window, watched the forest, saw the shadows, felt the presence. "Thank you," she whispered, "to the bears, to the universe, to whatever force had brought them together, had created this magic, this connection, this hope. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new chances to help, new opportunities to bridge divides. But tonight, all was well. The boy slept peacefully, the bears guarded faithfully. The world spun on, changed, better, because one baby had refused to accept that different meant dangerous, had chosen love over logic, had shown everyone that the smallest hands could hold the biggest hearts. And in the forest, bears told their cubs about the boy, about kindness from unexpected places, about trust earned through action, about the day everything changed, when sticky tar brought species together, when a baby's tears saved a cub, when the world got a little brighter, a little kinder, a little more magical. The autumn morning arrived with unusual silence. No birds singing, no wind rustling leaves. Even the forest seemed to hold its breath. Oliver, now 10 years old, felt it immediately. Something was different. Something important was about to happen. He dressed quickly. Saturday meant no school, freedom to explore, to check on his forest friends. But when he looked out his window, the tree line appeared wrong. Too still, too empty. Where shadows usually danced, nothing moved. Dakota noticed it too. Her coffee tasted bitter. The air felt heavy. Storm coming, she wondered aloud. But the sky was clear, bright blue, perfect autumn day, except for the silence, the waiting. Oliver grabbed his jacket, red like maple leaves. "Going outside," he announced. Dakota nodded, watched him go, her brave boy, still drawn to the forest, still connected to something wild, something beyond her understanding. The backyard felt smaller somehow, like the forest had retreated, pulled back from human spaces. Oliver walked to the fence, the same fence where he'd first seen his bear friend return. Now it seemed like a bigger barrier, a clearer line between worlds. He heard it then. Not a sound exactly, more like feeling, vibration in the ground, rhythm in the air. Multiple footsteps, heavy, deliberate, coming closer. Oliver's heart raced, not from fear, from anticipation. They emerged together, not just two bears, not just the family he knew, dozens, bears of all sizes, all ages, moving as one group, purposeful, organized, unlike anything Oliver had seen. The mother bear led them. Older now, gray-muzzled, but still strong, still commanding. Beside her, Oliver's friend, the grown cub, scarred paw visible even from distance. Behind them, more bears than Oliver could count. Dakota ran outside, phone already in hand. "Oliver, get back!" But Oliver didn't move, couldn't move. The bears arranged themselves along the forest edge. Perfect line. Watching, waiting. For what? Marcus Thompson's dog started barking. Unusual sound, not aggressive, more like announcement. Alert. Other neighbors appeared, drawn by the strange energy, the impossible gathering. Bears didn't do this, didn't congregate near humans, didn't organize like this. Angela Peterson's truck screeched into the driveway. She jumped out, eyes wide. "I got calls, multiple sightings, bears everywhere, moving toward ... She stopped, saw the line of bears, mouth fell open. This is unprecedented. The bears sat in unison, synchronized, practiced, like they'd planned this, rehearsed it. The mother bear stepped forward, just one step. Looked directly at Oliver, made a sound, low, urgent, meaningful. Oliver understood immediately. Something's wrong. He looked at his mother, at Angela. They need help, all of them. Something big is happening. His voice carried certainty, 10 years of connection, of understanding, of trust. The mother bear turned, walked back into the forest, stopped, looked back. Clear invitation, follow. The other bears remained seated, guardians, witnesses, waiting for humans to decide. Angela grabbed her gear. "This is insane, following bears into the forest, but..." She looked at Oliver, remembered the tar, the injury, the miracles. "They've never led us wrong." Dakota struggled. Mother's instinct said no, keep Oliver safe. But deeper knowledge said yes. This mattered. This was bigger than fear, bigger than normal rules. "We go together," she decided, "all of us." More neighbors joined. Word spread fast. The bears at the cottage, the mass gathering, the invitation. Soon, a human group formed, mirror to the bear group. 2 species, 1 purpose, whatever that purpose was. They entered the forest, bears leading, humans following, unprecedented procession. Oliver walked between his mother and Angela, calm, confident, his element, the bridge between worlds fully realized. The path wound deeper, away from known trails, into older growth, darker spaces. The bears moved silently. Humans tried to match, failed. Twigs snapped, leaves crunched. But the bears showed patience, understanding, no judgment. 20 minutes in, the smell hit. Smoke. Not forest fire, different, chemical, wrong. The bears moved faster, urgency increasing. The humans struggled to keep pace. What were they heading toward? The forest opened suddenly, clearing ahead, unnatural, man-made. Oliver gasped, others cursed. Before them stretched devastation. Trees cut down, ground torn up, machinery everywhere. Illegal logging operation, hidden, secret, destroying the bear's home. But worse awaited. In the center, a massive pit, fresh earth piled around it. And inside, Oliver's stomach turned. Bears, dead bears, maybe 7, maybe more, thrown in like garbage, discarded. Some looked young, cubs perhaps. The living bears surrounded the pit, heads lowered, mourning posture. The humans understood now. This wasn't just help, this was witness, this was justice. The bears had brought them to see, to act, to use human law against human crime. Angela knelt by the pit, professional despite horror. Shot, she said quietly. All of them, recently, maybe yesterday. She looked up, tears flowing. Poachers, or the loggers, protecting their illegal operation. Oliver walked to the mother bear, put his small hand on her shoulder. She leaned into him slightly, accepting comfort, giving it back, shared grief, shared anger, shared determination. Madison Foster appeared, camera in hand. Got the call, bears gathering, but this... She started filming. Evidence, proof, story that needed telling. Immediately. Before evidence disappeared, before criminals escaped. Dakota called 911, explained best she could. Bears led them to crime scene, illegal logging, dead bears, need police. Now, the dispatcher struggled to understand. Bears don't lead people places. Bears don't report crimes. Except these did. More humans arrived, the story spreading real time, social media exploding, live streams starting, the bears allowed it. Seemed to want it, maximum exposure, maximum pressure, their forest, their family, their fight now. The young bear, Oliver's friend, did something unexpected. It walked to one of the machines, huge yellow bulldozer, put its paws on the metal, pushed. Others joined, bears working together, trying to topple it, symbolic, powerful, but impossible, too heavy. Humans understood, joined the effort, bears and people, pushing together, camera recording everything. The machine rocked, tilted, with massive effort, crashed over, disabled, one down, many to go. Police sirens wailed, getting closer. The criminals must have heard. 2 men burst from hidden cabin, ran for truck, saw the crowd, the bears, stopped cold, surrounded, nowhere to run. The mother bear stepped toward them, slow, deliberate. The men backed away, terrified. She didn't attack, just stood, stared, let them see what they'd done, the pit, their victims, the destruction. One man broke. It wasn't supposed to happen. The bears attacked first. We defended ourselves. Lies. Everyone knew. The dead cubs proved it. No threat, just living, being bears. Wrong place, human greed. Police arrived, multiple units, saw the scene, the evidence, the witness. Arrests happened quickly. The men led away, but the bears weren't finished. More to show, more to reveal. They led the group deeper. Another clearing, more machines, but also cages. Empty now, but built for bears. Capture operation, not just logging, bear trafficking, illegal trade. The scope grew bigger, darker. Oliver felt sick, his friends, hunted, caged, sold. His childhood innocence cracked slightly. The world held cruelty he hadn't imagined. but also strength. The bears fought back, found allies, found him. Federal agents arrived. This was bigger than local police. Interstate crime. International, maybe. The bears had exposed something huge. Network of criminals. Years of operation, hidden in plain sight. The mother bear approached Oliver again, touched his hand with her nose. Gentle, grateful. Then did something new. She stood on hind legs, towering over him, but not threatening. Ceremonial, acknowledgement. One by one, other bears copied her. Standing, facing Oliver, the boy who'd started it all, who'd shown them humans could be trusted, who'd built the bridge. They were honoring him, thanking him, in their way. Oliver stood straighter, understood the weight, the responsibility. He'd saved one cub. That act rippled outward. Created this moment, this alliance, this victory. Small hands, big consequences. The investigation took hours, evidence collected, statements taken, bears patient throughout. Watching, ensuring thoroughness. Some left gradually, duty done, but core group remained, the family, Oliver's bears. As sunset approached, exhaustion hit everyone. Emotional drain, physical fatigue, but also satisfaction. Justice served, forest protected, lives saved, future bears spared. Because species worked together. The mother bear made final rounds, checking the pit, mourning the lost. Then gathered her group. Time to go. But first, one more approach to Oliver. She lowered her massive head, pressed it against his chest. Brief, powerful, love. Oliver hugged her neck, careful of her strength, mindful of wildness, but full of affection. "I'll protect your forest," he whispered. "Always, I promise." She understood, somehow. The promise registered. They left slowly, majestically, back to their world. But the bond remained, stronger than ever. Tested by tragedy, proven by trust, cemented by shared purpose. Two species, one goal, protect the innocent. That night, news exploded worldwide. The bears who reported crime, the boy who bridged species, the network exposed, arrests made, justice served. But also bigger questions about coexistence, about communication, about possibility. Scientists arrived within days, wanting to study, to understand. How did bears comprehend human help? How did they organize response? How did they know to find Oliver? Questions without easy answers. But Oliver knew love was the answer, simple, powerful, transformative. He'd loved a trapped cub. That cub's family loved him back. Love taught trust. Trust enabled communication. Communication allowed cooperation. Cooperation brought justice. The forest changed after that, protected status granted, logging banned, habitat preserved. The bears had won. But really, everyone won. Humans learned. Bears survived. Nature got respect. Oliver's role evolved. Official junior ranger, liaison between species, bridge builder, problem solver, 10 years old, already changing worlds. His mother watched with pride and worry, heavy burden, big responsibility. But Oliver thrived, school during week, forest on weekends, learning from both worlds, teaching both worlds. Bears brought him problems, injured animals, human encroachment, environmental threats he translated, mediated, solved. The scarred bear visited often. Oliver's first friend, now partner, co-protector. They walked the forest together, checking, monitoring, ensuring safety, boy and bear. Unlikely team, perfect match. One day brought surprise. The scarred bear arrived with companion, female, young, shy, but curious about Oliver. About the famous human cub, the friend who saved bears, who spoke their language. Courtship happened slowly, carefully. The female accepted Oliver gradually, learned to trust. The scarred bear patient. proud, showing off his human brother, building new bridges, expanding the network. When cubs came, Oliver was there, not for birth, too private, too wild, but after. Introduction to Uncle Oliver. Tiny bears, fresh start, new generation, born into world where humans helped, where boys saved bears, where trust was possible. He held one carefully. Supervised by parents. Tiny life. Enormous potential. Would this cub know fear of humans or just caution? Would it learn Oliver's story? Understand the bond? Inherit the trust? The mother bear watched from distance. Old now, moving slower, but still matriarch, still leader. Her legacy secure, forest protected, family expanded, human allies proven, all from one day, one tar trap, one brave baby. She'd tested humanity, found most wanting, but one shining exception, one small boy, who grew into bridge, into protector, into friend. Her faith rewarded, her trust justified, her family saved. Winter came harsh that year. Deep snow, scarce food. The bears struggled, but not alone. Oliver organized help, safe feeding stations, veterinary support, community involvement. Everyone helping. Remembering the bears who asked for justice, who trusted humans, who proved connection possible. The scarred bear brought his cubs often, teaching them boundaries, safe humans, dangerous humans, how to tell difference. Oliver, part of lessons, the human who belonged, who understood, who protected. One cub showed special interest, following Oliver closely, mimicking his movements, learning his patterns. The next generation bridge, the next connector. Oliver encouraged gently, respected wildness, but nurtured trust. Spring brought challenges, development pressure, new threats, but also new allies. Oliver's story inspired others, children especially, young voices demanding protection, future voters, future leaders, learning early, connection matters, all life valuable. The forest thrived, bears multiplied. Other animals benefited, ecosystem balanced, all from one moment. Tar on hot road, baby's compassion, mother's trust. Sometimes smallest acts created biggest changes. Ripples becoming waves, waves becoming tsunamis, good tsunamis, healing tsunamis. Oliver grew taller, voice deeper, but heart unchanged, still running to window, still checking forest, still feeling responsibility, still honoring promise. Protect the forest, protect the bears, protect the bridge. High school brought choices, college looming, career decisions, but path seemed clear. Environmental science, wildlife management, conservation law, whatever helped most, whatever served best. The bears had shown him purpose. Early, clearly, unchangeably. Dating felt strange, bringing girls home, explaining the bears, the connection, the responsibility. Some understood, some didn't, but one did. Sarah Chen, transfer student, environmentalist. She saw Oliver with bears, saw the trust, the love, the purpose. She understood. They worked together, studied together, protected together. The bond evolved, human love paralleling interspecies love, both powerful, both necessary, both world-changing. Sarah met the bears, slowly, carefully, Oliver translating, mediating, building new bridges. The scarred bear approved, brought Sarah gifts, forest treasures, pine cones, pretty stones, bear tokens of acceptance. She treasured them. Understanding the honor, the trust extended, the family expanded. Graduation brought decisions, where to study, what to pursue, how to help best. But the bears decided, sort of. The morning after graduation they gathered again, like years before, lined at forest edge, waiting. This time, no crisis, no crime, just a ceremony. Oliver understood. They'd come to send him off, to wish him well, to remind him. Home was here, always. The bridge remained. Distance didn't matter. Connection transcended geography. He walked the line, touching noses, sharing moments. Each bear known, each bear loved, the mother bear last, ancient now, but still strong, still proud. Her eyes held history, tar baby, brave child, young man, protector, friend, family. She stood tall, despite age, despite arthritis. One last time, honor stance, pride stance, love stance. Oliver matched her, stood tall, accepted honor, promised return, promised continuity, promised eternal connection. College years flew, studies intense, purpose clear. Oliver specialized in interspecies communication, revolutionary field inspired by his experience, documenting, theorizing, proving, connection possible, trust buildable, cooperation achievable. He returned summers, checked on bears, maintained bridges. New cubs knew him, old bears remembered. The forest held his history, his heart, his home. Sarah often joined, learning, helping, becoming part of it. The scarred bear aged, moved slower, but waited always, for Oliver's returns, for walks together, for quiet moments. Brothers across species, friends beyond words, connected by memory, by trust, by love. One summer brought crisis, disease in the forest, bears sick, dying. Oliver rushed back, Sarah beside him. Angela Peterson retired but advising, everyone mobilizing, old network reactivating, time to help again. The mother bear was among sick, very old now, very weak, but fighting. Oliver sat with her, held her paw, whispered memories. Tar cub, first meeting, years of trust. She listened, eyes on his, understanding, remembering, loving. Medicine helped some, but not all. The mother bear slipped away, quietly, peacefully, Oliver beside her, hand on her fur. Promise in his heart, continue the work, protect the forest, honor the connection. They buried her specially, bears and humans together. Unprecedented ceremony, shared grief, shared respect, shared commitment. Her legacy lived, in protected forest, in trusted bonds, in Oliver's work, in future generations. The scarred bear mourned deeply, lost mother, lost matriarch, but gained purpose, became leader, protector, bridge maintainer. Oliver's partner in preservation. The work continued, must continue, would continue. Oliver finished school, returned permanently, established research center, right by the cottage where it all started. Sarah joined him, life partners, work partners, bridge builders together. The next chapter beginning. Children came eventually, twin boys, raised with bears from birth. No fear, just respect, just love, just understanding. Third-generation bridges, future protectors, legacy secured. The scarred bear met them early. Gentle giant. Careful introduction, history repeating, but better, easier, more natural. These babies wouldn't need to discover connection. They'd be born into it, raised with it, part of it. Years cycled, seasons turned, bears multiplied, forest thrived, research advanced. Understanding deepened. Oliver aged, children grew, but connection remained. Constant, strong, unbreakable. The cottage became landmark, pilgrimage site. School groups visited, scientists studied, tourists photographed. But at heart, still home, still special. Still the place where baby met bear, where worlds connected, where miracles lived. Oliver's children took over gradually, educated from birth, prepared for responsibility, ready for duty. The bridge needed tenders. The trust needed keepers. The love needed channels. They understood, accepted, embraced. The scarred bear grew ancient, like his mother before, moving slowly, sleeping more, but still visiting, still checking, still connected. Until his time came, peaceful end, surrounded by family, Oliver holding his paw, whispering thanks, eternal gratitude, eternal love. They buried him beside his mother. Honor guard of bears, honor guard of humans. Two species, one grief, one respect, one continuing promise. The bridge would stand, the trust would hold, the love would endure. New bears learned the stories, new humans heard the tales. Connection passed down, trust inherited, love taught early, the cottage by the forest, holy ground, sacred space, where miracles began, where miracles continued. Oliver grew old there, watching, protecting, teaching, remembering. The tar baby became elder statesman, bridge tender, story keeper, living reminder that small acts matter, that love transcends, that connection is possible. His grandchildren played where he once crawled, watched the forest like he watched, waited for bears like he waited, ready to help, ready to bridge, ready to love. Fourth generation, still connected, still committed, still continuing the miracle. The forest told its stories, in rustling leaves, in bear paths, in human footprints, all interwoven, all connected, all part of something bigger, something beautiful, something that started with tar, with tears, with tiny hands reaching out, with massive paws accepting, with trust building, with love winning. On a morning, exactly 50 years after the tar incident, something extraordinary happened. Oliver, now silver-haired and gentle-faced, sat on his porch with his newest great-grandchild. Little Emma, barely walking, pointed at the forest edge. Her excited babbling stopped Oliver's heart. There, emerging from the tree line, came a procession unlike any before. Bears of all ages, moving with purpose, but not just bears. Deer walked among them, foxes trotted alongside, birds perched on massive shoulders. The entire forest seemed to move as one. Oliver stood slowly, his aged bones protesting. Emma gripped his finger, her eyes wide with wonder. The animals arranged themselves in a perfect circle around the cottage. Hundreds of them. Silent. Waiting. The eldest bear, a massive male with scars marking years of life, stepped forward. Oliver recognized him instantly. The first cub born to his scarred friend. Now the forest's guardian. The bear carried something in his mouth. Gently, carefully. He approached Oliver and placed the object at his feet. A piece of tar, old, hardened, worn smooth by years. The original tar, somehow preserved, somehow found, somehow brought back to where everything began. Oliver's eyes filled with tears. He understood. This wasn't just a gathering. It was a ceremony, a thank you, a monument to connection. 50 years of trust, 50 years of protection, 50 years of love. Emma toddled forward before anyone could stop her. The massive bear lowered his head. The tiny girl patted his nose. Just like Oliver had done decades ago. The same innocence, the same trust, the same bridge between worlds. The animals began to move, slowly, rhythmically. A dance of sorts, bears and deer, foxes and rabbits, predator and prey, all moving together, all celebrating together, the forest's tribute to the boy who changed everything. Oliver's children and grandchildren gathered on the porch. Sarah, his wife of 40 years, took his hand. Angela Peterson, in a wheelchair but smiling broadly, had been brought by her daughter. Marcus Thompson's son stood with his family, the human community that had learned to trust. Madison Foster, now a grandmother herself, filmed with steady hands. This needed recording. This moment. This culmination. This proof that love could transform worlds, that kindness could echo through generations, that one small act could reshape reality. The dance continued, hypnotic, beautiful, impossible. Animals that should fear each other moved in harmony, celebrating peace, celebrating trust, celebrating the bridge that connected them all. Emma danced too, spinning clumsily among the animals. They made space for her, protected her, included her, the newest bridge builder, the freshest connection, the future of the bond. As the sun reached its peak, the animals stopped, formed their circle again. The eldest bear stood tall. Others followed, all on hind legs, all facing the cottage, all honoring the legacy. Oliver felt it then, the weight of years, the joy of connection, the pride of purpose. He'd kept his promise, protected the forest, maintained the bridge, passed on the trust, his life's work complete, but not ending. Emma laughed, running between bear legs, a new cycle beginning, a new protector emerging. The bridge would never fall. The trust would never break, the love would never die. The eldest bear approached once more. This time, he brought others, cubs, tiny, playful, fearless. They tumbled around Emma, bear cubs and human child, playing together. No fear, no boundaries, just joy. Oliver sat back down, overwhelmed. Sarah squeezed his shoulder. Their children surrounded them. 4 generations of bridge builders. 4 generations of trust keepers. 4 generations of proof that love conquered all. The animals began to leave, slowly, reluctantly. But the cubs stayed, playing with Emma, their parents watching, trusting, the ultimate expression of faith. Their babies with human babies. The circle complete. As afternoon faded, Oliver dozed in his chair. Emma curled in his lap. Bear cubs nested near his feet. Peace settled over the cottage. The forest whispered its approval. The bridge stood strong. When Oliver woke, the cubs were gone. But Emma held something, a feather, a stone, a piece of bark. Gifts from her new friends, treasures from the forest, promises of continuation. That night Oliver dreamed, not of the past, but of the future. Emma grown tall, leading bears and humans, teaching cooperation, spreading the message. The bridge extending, connecting more than forest and cottage, connecting hearts worldwide. He saw forests protected everywhere, animals and humans working together, fear replaced by understanding, hatred transformed by love, all rippling out from one moment, one tar trap, one brave baby, one impossible connection. Sarah woke him gently. "Look," she whispered. Outside, the aurora borealis danced. Unusual this far south, but the light seemed to originate from the forest. Green and gold, swirling, celebrating. Nature's fireworks for a job well done. Bears stood at the tree line, watching the lights, watching the cottage, standing guard, as they'd done for 50 years, as they'd do for 50 more, as long as bridges needed tending, as long as trust needed keeping. Emma stirred in her sleep, smiled, dreamed her own dreams, of bears and birds, of forest adventures, of bridges to build, of worlds to connect. The next chapter already writing itself in her sleeping mind. The aurora faded. The bears melted back into shadows. The cottage settled into silence, but the connection hummed. Strong as ever. Broader than ever. Deeper than ever. Oliver closed his eyes, felt his mother's presence, remembered her face that first day, the fear, the wonder, the moment everything changed. She'd be proud. The scared young mother who let her baby approach a bear, who trusted his instinct, who enabled the miracle.